So we were here, lesson number 5, keeping the business in mind. We said good project managers, if you're working in a highly regulated industry, you'll definitely start thinking about what are those things I must remain compliant with, and you'll start looking at compliance requirements. So this is what PMI's topic A is. I don't agree with this, but this is what it is, right? PMI says if you want to keep your business in mind, understand those compliance requirements and understand them early. Then PMI says, well, if you want to ensure that your success, if you want to ensure the success of your business, deliver the benefits for which your project has been undertaken. Deliver that value. Focus on the benefits and focus on the value. So good project managers continue to understand. First of all, they will understand what benefits are required from your project. What are the benefits that are required? They will understand them in the beginning, and then they will continue to focus on them throughout the life cycle of the project, right? Good project managers will they do not execute the project in a silo. Oh, in vacuum. Projects are not executed in vacuum, right? We don't execute project in a closed environment. Projects are, the environment is sometimes untested. The environment is sometimes changing rapidly, and good project managers continue to evaluate and address any environmental changes. Good project managers, they are continuously looking at other factors. We'll talk about it in detail when we get there in topic numbers. So when we get to topic C, we will talk about it at that time. So good project managers continue to evaluate and address environmental changes. For example, let's just say I'm executing a project in a highly competitive market. I'll not just come as a project manager and start doing my work and executing my project. I will also continue to watch the competitive forces that shape my industry. I look at these competitive forces that shape my industry. I look for my competition. I will not only just say, well, my project is about these 5 requirements and I must deliver them and go. That's not what good project managers do. Good project managers will also look at the competition. Good project managers will continue to watch the regulations. Good project managers will look at market changes. Good project managers will look at political conditions, all these environmental factors around us. So keep this in mind that projects are not executed in vacuum, are not executed in a vacuum. Projects are not executed in a vacuum. Good project managers must continue to evaluate and address any environmental changes or factors. And we are going to talk about these environmental factors because there could be 1 or 2 questions from here. What are these internal environmental factors? And what are the external environmental factors? Then, good project managers will always focus on, right? So let's say you were given 5 requirements in the beginning, and the stakeholder said, deliver my 5 requirements. You were given 5 requirements and the stakeholder said, deliver my 5 requirements. You started working on the project and you got to executing. Suddenly you realized that these 5 requirements will not deliver the benefits. You can't now you cannot continue on this path of execution of these projects with these 5 requirements. You will have to bring a change. Good project managers will never hesitate in bringing the right changes in the project. They will not show resistance towards change. Rather, good project managers will, if the changes are required to deliver the benefits, they will embrace those changes or they will support organization change. They'll support that change. Change, such a powerful word. Change, act of transformation in response to a need. Change, how do you define it? Act of transformation in response to a need, right? This is this act of transformation. All projects around the world are undertaken to deliver a change. And good project managers will ensure that all the projects that they're working on, when they bring change, our stakeholders are ready for that change, right? They're ready for that change. And right here, uh, the last topic for today would be topic E. And the topic is good project managers would be on a project, would do retrospection, would do continuous lesson learning, because good project managers do not forget one thing, that if you really want to achieve excellence, you cannot just continue with status quo, right? They enable continuous process improvement. Good project managers look for opportunities to continuously improve. If I did not learn anything 10 years ago, I would be what I was 10 years ago, a better version of yourself. Every organization is looking at becoming a better version of them and themselves. And how are they doing it? They're doing it by employing this idea of continuous change, right? Change, moving from point A to point B, the act of transformation in response to that need, right? And good project managers, topic E is about thinking about employing continuous improvement. They don't go out there and say, we will look at lesson learned at the end of the project. Gone are those days. They start learning, whether you're working on a predictive project or you're working on adaptive projects. In adaptive project, there is retrospective at every at some interval. In waterfall or predictive based projects, also lesson learned is done throughout the project, right? The only way to improve yourself is when we do retrospection, even as a human being, when we do retrospection, or we learn from our mistakes, or we continue to document these lessons learned. So today we are looking at these 5 topics, topic A, B, C, D, and E. Things that you don't leave for the end. Just because PMI said this is lesson number 5 does not mean anything, guys. This is the first thing you do on any project. But really, PMI said these 5 topics. I would tell you that when you join a project, if you really and truly want to keep the business in mind, look at the relevant documentation. Understand the culture of the organization. Understand what your leadership wants. Identify your stakeholders. Those are more important than these things, but this is what we might suggest, and this is what we'll stick to, right? But in real world, if someone said, how do you keep your business in mind? I'll say I keep my business in mind by reviewing the relevant documentation, by identifying the right high priority stakeholders, by understanding the culture of my organization, by understanding the needs of my leadership, by creating sound plans and always keeping my business in mind. So these are the things that I would watch out for when I'm keeping my business in mind. But this is what PMI says. So these are the 5 topics we'll go over. Where is something of relevance for us? Nothing on the exam from here, nothing on the exam from here. Maybe a couple of questions here in topic C. Maybe one question here, but you already know change control boards. So maybe one question here. And continuous improvement, retrospection and lesson learned, maybe one question here. Keeping the business in mind in the PMI authorized PMP exam prep is a 92 page or 90 page lesson. You know, in the exam, there are 7 questions from this lesson. So don't go out there exploding here, right? If you really wanted to explode, you should have exploded in lesson 2 and 3, and you are done for PMP. Lesson 2, lesson 3, lesson 4, something very important, and of course, lesson 1. This lesson is good information from PMI standpoint, the PMP exam standpoint, low value from PMP exam standpoint. So